The Counter-Strike skin market has had a net loss of over $1 billion in just the past day. Now, this comes after an update that allows you to use trade-up contracts to get gold items like knives and gloves. A trade-up contract is essentially an item in the game that allows you to take a bunch of low-rarity items and trade them up for a better rarity item. The rarities are as follows: consumer, industrial, mil-spec, restricted, classified, covert, and exceedingly rare being knives. And before this update, you could use any other rarity to trade up to the next rarity. You could use consumer grade skins to trade to industrial, and then industrial to mil-spec, and so on. But now they've introduced where you can use covert or red skins to trade up to knives. And this has made knives a lot less rare and tanked the market. If you know nothing about Counter-Strike, knives and gloves tend to be, on average, the most expensive items in the game. This being because they are the rarest items to drop from cases and the most sought after because they look kind of cool. And these can go for upwards of millions of dollars. I'm not joking. There has been knives that have sold for over $1 million. On average, they're going to be a couple $100 to a couple thousand into the 10,000s. Now, while the price of knives has tanked a lot because there's easier ways of getting them, the price of covert skins has risen. Covert skins are the rarest of gun skins. There's only one or two of them in a case, and it has the rarest chance to drop besides golds. However, when it comes to covert skins, the rarity of them really doesn't play into the price all that much. What matters way more is the gun that it's on and how cool the skin looks. Let's take the P90 Asimov, for example. Yeah, it looks okay, but it's on the P90, so nobody's really going to use it, so it was only worth a few dollars before this happened. However, on October 22nd, it shot up from around $18 to later in the day being worth $145 because you could use it to potentially get a way more expensive item. The change is even more drastic when we look at it in Well-Worn, where it went from around $8 on October 22nd all the way up to $110, and that number is still rising to today being $124. I forgot to mention every skin in Counter-Strike has a wear rating where a float determines how beat up the gun looks basically, the worst being battle scarred and the best being factory new. Now for how the knives were affected, we'll look at the butterfly knife lore, where it started out at around $1,600 and dropped all the way down to $500 in just one day. Today it is around $985, so it's gone up a little bit, but still, that is absolutely insane. I'm gonna show you guys a clip of somebody actually doing these trade-ups.
So if I just got a knife. I mean, it's not a great one, but oh my god, wait, let's do it again. Oh my god! Holy shit!
As you could probably guess, this change has sparked a huge divide in the Counter-Strike community, with some people saying that this change is great and Valve should have had this in the game from the start, and other people saying that Valve has completely destroyed people's lives, which is true. People have lost basically all of their life savings that they've sunk and invested into Counter-Strike skins, and it's basically Valve's fault for implementing this change. Personally, I'm indifferent towards it because it really hasn't affected me much. I don't have that much money in Counter-Strike skins, and, you know, Counter-Strike skins being a little bit cheaper is cooler for me because now I can afford skins that I couldn't have before. However, I definitely do understand how this has deeply affected a lot of people's lives, and people kind of making fun of them on Twitter and things saying, oh, you shouldn't have put all your money into Counter-Strike. The Counter-Strike market has been more stable than the stock market for a while now. Ever since CS2 came out, it's kind of had things at the same price going up and down a little bit, but no big crashes like this. And it would have stayed that way if Valve didn't go and meddle with the system for some reason instead of actually fixing their game. Like seriously, Valve, we got gold trade-ups before adding flying scoutsmen and map-based agents back into the game. What are we doing? Like, we haven't had an operation since 2020. We haven't had a way to get actual operator skins since 2020, and we don't even have map-based operators. We just have to run with the stupid SAS and Phoenix, like the two ugliest factions in the entire game, Valve. What are we doing? This is really something that nobody asked for at all, and Valve said, yeah, let's just put it in the game and wreck the entire market, because they knew this would happen. I don't understand what the end goal was here. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.